G'day peeps and welcome back. Just a short vid. I'm installing a harness to hook up my spotties and my small light bar up there. So I put the nudge bar on last weekend, got the spotties sitting in place, just got to wire it all in now. There's the little light bar up there. It's only a small one, but that's all I need for what I'm doing. This isn't a detailed run through of plug and play harnesses. It's just a couple of things I wanted to point out, and just something to be aware of if you're going to install one of these harnesses on a Pajero. Mine's a 2015 NX, but it would be the same for all Gen 4s, no doubt. And what that is, I've got two harnesses here. So this is just your standard harness when you buy one. You buy them from anywhere, but this one is single relay, got your light switch, you've got a connector on here that plugs into a splitter, and that goes off and runs your two spotties at the front, or your light bar if you're running just a single light bar. I was going to use that, and then I decided I want to install a light bar with it. And after a bit of research, I came up with, bought this from Steady, and it's basically a dual relay, dual output. So I can have one of these running off to the splitter to run my spotties, and I can have the other one run up to the top of the roof to do my light bar. A couple of things that I need to point out, which is a bit of a trap for young players. Get this off. The one from Steady is quite a good unit, but at the time of ordering it, I didn't realise that there's actually a couple of different types of these Deutsch plugs. As you can see, this one's a 2-pin, but it's got 2 channels underneath, and that differs a little bit from the standard 2-pin. You can see, I'll show you the difference, but you can see there's, that does not fit into that. I found that out the hard way, so I had to buy what they call a reducer. So it takes it down from that type of plug, you see there, just an adapter, and it comes out to that type of connector, which is your standard that you get on these harnesses. They're waterproof, they're quite good plugs. But the thing that I found was, this is slightly different because it's got a higher current rating. I think they're rated for 25 amps constant draw. And I didn't realise that when I plugged it in. Yeah, it didn't fit. Long story short, went and got these adapters. They fit well, and that's all good. Last night I went to plug in the bits and pieces, hook up the lights, etc. And what I found is there's an issue with the plug from these plug and play harnesses that tap into the high beam. And I'll show you what I mean. So these are the two adapters for the headlights that come with these plug and play harnesses. And the one that you're going to want is this style. But these are the two most common, and that's why they ship them. That's what's shipped with this single harness, and this is and also the same thing that shipped with the Steady dual relay harness. The challenge that I ran into was when I was trying to connect this thing onto the tap into the headlights, onto the high beam. I couldn't get this plug to fit, no matter how hard I tried. And turns out that this particular type of connector is slightly different to the type that's on the Pajero high beam. I'll go and show you the connector in a minute, but I ended up getting the correct type from forgetting the name of the shop now, but Refrax Galore, and they had the right one. And if you have a look, this is the one I went and got this morning. That's the one that ships with it. They look exactly the same, but they're not. The difference being, that top one doesn't have a cutout in it. See that? That bottom one has a cutout in it. It's a H9 connector, and the bottom one is what you need for the Pajero. If it doesn't have that cut in it, it's not going to fit. You might be able to put a Dremel or something on this type that doesn't have the cutout, don't know, like hacksaw or Dremel, and you'll probably get it to fit. But even the clip, that type of clip doesn't fit onto the high beam connector, whereas this one does. I've already plugged it in, tested it. These little weatherproof seals are brilliant, but it plugs in and it's definitely the one you want. So if you're out there and you're going to do this, just be careful that when you buy one, you're going to need to have that split in it. I'll take you over and show you what it looks like on the headlight so you can get an understanding of what I'm saying. Yep. Alright, so just taking the high beam globe out. If you have a look, you'll see that there's the notch in between the two pins. The original one that I got, obviously the notch doesn't line up with it, so you can try all day to fit that in, it's not going to work. There's the other one. Here it is. So this is the replacement one that I mentioned. It's got the notch straight through it, and you'll see the lugs on the side actually line up with this type of connector, whereas the one that didn't work has got a connector that doesn't even line up there. So this is a H9. If you're going to do this, make sure you go and get the right one. You'll see just got to line up. The positive wire's got to be, it's a bit tight, but just clicked in. The positive wire has to be on the right hand side, so when you push that back into the headlight, positive will be there, but you can see that fits in snug. So that's all you need to worry about, making sure you've got the right one, and it'll make life a lot easier. Okay, so I've just plugged that back into the headlight. You can see that brown connector, brown and yellow connector. That's the one I just took off. That's the one that sits on the headlight normally. You unplug that, put in the piggyback connector, and then that brown and yellow one will plug into the black connector that you can see there. There's something else I wanted to show you. I put the UHF foldable bracket up last weekend. Just ran the cable into this protective conduit, ran it down the channel, all the way down the windscreen channel. Took this off, just unscrewed that and fed it underneath, and it comes through. You can lift up this rubber. You'll see that there's just a couple of retainer. If you just sort of gently pull that, you can lift the rubber up, feed through feed through any conduits or any cables. So that takes care of the UHF radio, but I've still got to put up the wiring for the light bar. And the way that I'm going to do that is I bought this cable strip from Steady, and basically you've got some you just cut it to size, put some it came with some 3M tape put on the back of that, but basically it'll sit down over that channel with the 3M tape. I'm just going to play around with it a bit, not sure what I'll do here, whether I'll just cut and rejoin it. But the good thing about it is it's got a channel in there that will easily accommodate the cable that I'm running up there, and then you can just clip it together basically, so it sort of pinches together. It gives it a bit of weather protection, but I'll get that in place and sort of show you what it looks like. But yeah, just thought I'd let you know in case you're wondering how to get cables up there. This is how I'm doing it. May not be everyone's cup of tea, but it'll work for me. I'm lucky that the car's black, so it's not going to stand out too much, but yeah, should do the job okay. Alright, so I stuck this bracket in, made this bracket up for the twin relays. Fair bit of room down there because I don't have a second battery, but I've run out of places to earth things to the chassis. So just took one of these angle brackets, spare one, couple of spare ones I got off my pull-out awning, and just cut that, and yeah, just cleaned it up a bit. She's in nice and solid, and yeah, it's going to live there. Alright, just done a quick rough in with the cabling just to make sure that everything works before I hardwire it in and tidy it up, and that's all good. As you can see, like I said before, twin relays, everything running off the one switch, wherever that is. Here, I'll be changing the switch, but yeah, so that's controlling both the spotties and the light bar off high beam. I'll line them up later, but all good. Happy with that. So just drop the lower part of the dash so I can get the switch in. Some good videos there. Well, Den Monkey's got a good video out there on how to do that. So basically just lever off the end part. There's a couple of screws. One there. And one there. I had a bit of a challenge. With this. This is the part that falls away that holds the switches. So that's the one I want to put in. The problem that I had, not knowing any better, is at these two clips here, you've just got to push down with a screwdriver, like when it's in there, is push down, and then you can pull that out. Took me a while to work that out. This third connector has got a blanking plate on the front, but it's actually got something connected to the back, so I'm assuming that's maybe, you know, for up spec model, if it's an Exceed or something. I don't know what runs onto that. Maybe someone can tell me. I just finally got the dash pulled down, got the switch out. I did read on a forum that said push the tab and the thing will just push forward and come out, but it doesn't. You've got to push the tab down and then pull it out, and you can see that there's a rim on it, so it's got to go in from the back. So if you're pulling one of these out, push that little tab down, pull it out, and away she goes. I bloody broke one of the connectors on here. I thought it was just these. Thought it was that connector. As you can see, there's a third one which lines up there. Where are we? Can't see. Just there. Broke the bloody thing. Hopefully it all goes back with the two clips. But if you're taking this out, just be aware. So it's one clip. Then just over a bit is the second clip, which, as you can see on mine, it's broken, but it's just to the right of the ignition barrel. Then the third one is the ones over here. There's actually two of them. Anyway, okay, just cleaning up the cables now. Everything's in and tested. Something I just noticed, I was going to see these cutouts at the bottom. I think they might be, I'm guessing, but I think they might be for cables like spotties, like, you know, if you're going to run them. I just tried it then. They do fit through, but trying to pull this thing down and lock it into place, it just seems a little bit bouncy, and yeah, I'm not comfortable with it. So I'm going to run the spotty tails through here, unplug them, run them through here. That way the grill will click into place nicer, but I'm guessing you can use these if you really want to. I've obviously got protectors on there. If I didn't, probably be able to use these grooves, no worries. But I'll just run them through the bottom of the grill first. Alright, all back together and finished. Happy with the job. The spotties. There's the relays I mounted, just using the awning bracket. All back together. All good. I ran the cables up, took that off, just one screw, and then ran them up. I did have the UHF cable running in the gap underneath this rubber strip, but yeah, ended up running both the light bar cable and the UHF antenna in this rubber strip. So runs up there, happy with that. Not happy with this part, but that's just me. I'll find something to clean that up a bit at some stage. Just jump upstairs and show you. So it comes up, another bit of that rubber strip. Yeah, pretty tidy. Happy with that. All sorted out under the dash on that now. I'll just fire it up and show you. Alright, let's try it out. So there's the switch that I put in, the one on the furthest right. Headlights are on low beam. Oh, sorry, that one high beam. Oh no, they're on high beam now. Yep. Then if I whack the switch, it illuminates, and then you can see, obviously it doesn't show too well because it's still daylight, but have a look up. Light bar's working, spotties are working, so that's all good. All sorted, another job that I can tick off the list, and yeah, happy with the outcome.